Okay, so before closing, we have special content, panel discussion. So 6 speakers are in the middle. Then let's start a panel discussion. So I prepared some questions for every speaker. Then so I don't point specific person to for each question. So just take microphone when you like and pass it together and speak something. Yeah, enjoy conversation. Then after I share the link of slide. So I will collect a lot of questions from audience. So later part, do that, yeah, something like that, yeah. So let's start the first question. So quick introduction of yourself and what excites you most about staying in Japan or Flutter Ninjas 2025. So from whom? Do you want to start? Okay.
I'll go first. Should I introduce myself again? I think everyone knows
you
me.
can do that, yeah.
Okay, my name is Majid. I was a speaker today. If you missed my session, you really missed a lot, I guess. You should have been here. I don't know why you haven't been. But joke aside, what excites me about Flutter Ninja is definitely you sitting all here. I got lots of energy from you since yesterday. I was jet lagged, came from airport directly to the conference, and I got energized by you in a way that I couldn't sleep until 12:30 at midnight. Thank you very much for keeping me awake until midnight. But you folks here in this room are amazing. Hospitality, kindness, warmth, everything is perfect. Thank you very much for being such an amazing host. What excited me about Japan was sashimi, mostly. I had a very good time last night with some friends. So we had a good food. To be honest, I love Japanese food. I feel like I'm in heaven right now. Like everywhere I look is just food, and I love them. So I guess I will be back to my country with possibly 10 kilogram overweight. We'll see how it goes. But thank you very much. That's me.
Thank you. Next person.
Same. No, seriously. As Majid said, people here are super nice, very good energy, and lots of different people too, very diverse. And it's nice to see how to say. Forgot the word. I'm so sorry. Hearing stories about the different people when you can discuss one-on-one with them, and each of them telling you different how their life happened and the uniqueness about why they like Flutter, why they like each specific topic and stuff like that. It's not necessarily the typical thing we would hear from other countries. It's very interesting to see the differences between Japan and other cultures, not necessarily in a good or bad way. It's very unique and very interesting.
So I'm Tsuyoshi. By the way, can you pronounce my name correctly? Tsuyoshi. How about you?
Tsuyoshi?
Oh, yeah. Great. Okay, if you have any difficulty to pronounce Tsu sound, you can also call me Chuyang. Maybe it's easier. And many Japanese call me Chuyang. Okay, so I'm Chuyang, and what excites me most about Flutter Ninjas is that because it's the second time for me to attend the Flutter Ninjas, so it's some of you are like what to say it's been a while, so I was very excited to meet you again, and it's also I'm also excited to some of you in the first time. So and also my presentation about Haskell, it was the big challenge for me to provide my talk with that topic, because the last year I was talking about the Flutter framework, and it was kind of I can find the correct answer into the Flutter docs and Flutter implementation, but in this time the Haskell and Flutter there's no how to say there's no correct answer. So we have to construct the logic. I have to explain about it. So it was very big challenge. It was very excited to do the presentation in front of you this time.
Hello everyone, I'm Csongor, Hungarian Flutter developer from the Middle East, and like for me, like first time being here is like really like exciting in overall, and also like for me it's like being in a new world. All of you, as the previous people also mentioned, that all of you provided a very welcoming and hospitable environment for us. So I'm really enjoying being here, and I'm feeling very lucky to know all of you more, and also like how like Flutter is utilized here. What is also like besides this very exciting for me is that I'm planning to also visit after like Tokyo, like Osaka with the World Expo, and please root for me because I have some lottery tickets for the pavilion, so I hope I can visit them. But thank you so much for welcoming us very warmly. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Akansha. I came from India, and this is the first time that I visited Japan. And I explored a little bit of Japan. I rented a kimono. I went to Universal Studios. I'm going to Tokyo Disneyland as well. And yeah, it's my schedule is so packed. I'm here for 9 days, and you're so welcoming, and you made me so comfortable. Everybody here is so nice and so polite. When I was at home, I was thinking, how am I, this was the first time that I was traveling solo. So I was thinking, how am I going to manage everything together? But the transportation system here is so nice. You have your metro card and you are good to go anywhere. Google Maps works so fine. And the best thing about Flutter Ninjas is, yesterday I had my talk, and then when I went home, not home, basically to the hotel. And then when I came today, everybody was like, oh, you came, so you slept well? Yeah, I was like, yeah. And then you asked me the questions, and everybody here is so nice. So I felt so nice here. Thank you so much for making all of us so comfortable. Thank you.
I'm Masahiro from Japan, and you said everything about the good thing in Flutter Ninjas in Japan. One thing I enjoyed especially is to see you guys in person, because some of you I just know you online, but I'm really excited to seeing you in person. And I personally recommend you to try sashimi. So you like sashimi. So how about the chicken sashimi? Yeah, please. There is chicken sashimi, and even Japanese. Some people will get diarrhea, but it's super cool. I tried last year, but I got diarrhea, but my girlfriend didn't. So yeah, it's one of the great experience. So thanks so much.
Thank you. So move on to the next question. How did you get started with Flutter, and when? It's kind of similar question to the question board in Park. And any first up memories? So anyone can start.
When I first started Flutter, I used to be working on React projects on a French company. We were studying an online store, kind of like a French company, small Amazon-like. And also had some side project about making a video game. I used to work on Unity a bit. But I really wasn't satisfied with, for example, all the JavaScript tooling. we were using JavaScript at the time, not TypeScript, and even then, TypeScript, I still think it's lacking. And I was looking on various solutions because the apps that I used to work on were horrifying. Very bad memories. But then I came across Flutter on my own research. I realized I wouldn't be able to use it at work, but I was still interested in the technology. Ended up learning it because just why not? Just for fun. Nobody used it at the time, so the only way to actually use it in a productive way was to answer Stack Overflow questions, so that's why. But yeah, it was a really great experience. I learned a lot, and I transitioned over time because it was fun. That's about it for me.
When was it?
Oh, a long time ago.
That's why.
Maybe 9 years ago. Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
If anyone wants to speak, yep.
Okay. So it was like 2019, maybe 6 years ago, right? Yeah, it was 6 years ago. I was a freelance mobile app developer, and I was developing both Android app and iOS native app. It was like alone with my client was not the developer, so the client asked me to build some mobile app, and I will build both Android and iOS. So I had to write the same functionalities 2 times. It was very annoying for me, and I was in that. Yeah, at that time I was interested in Xamarin. Do you know that? Xamarin was the Microsoft one. Yeah, but it was not that didn't fit for me. And at that time I found Flutter, and I just tried that one, and I attended to the Flutter conference. Not conference, it's kind of event. And yeah, that was very nice. And I just started to learn Flutter and just build toy app, and then I've got I've joined the project that uses Flutter. So the first app was like the Flutter version 1 point something, and the interesting thing was last month I just migrated that old app, which was built with Flutter 1.23 or something, into the Flutter 3.29 or something. So after leaving the kind of 5 years, so it was the very.
How long did you take to migrate for the migration? Because there is a big gap between one, so no safety.
No safety.
Even
You have
provider
to
doesn't
upgrade
exist.
all the packages.
Yeah. Actually, it was not. It took just 1 day or 2 days because the code base is very tiny. So I just create the new. I just do the Flutter create the new repository and just copy and paste to the lib folder, and then I just put some exclamation mark or question mark one by one. But it works. But I could finish that one in less than I expected. So it was very nice experience. I guess it was using the provider, the very old version of provider. So it was like provider.of context listen false or something. And so I just replaced all of them to context.read or context.watch. Yeah, it was very interesting. Okay.
I started creating applications in 2019. I was a Java developer back then. I was using Java to create mobile applications. And then in 2021, I got selected in Google Developer Student Clubs program in my university. And then in the orientation program, they talked about Flutter and Kotlin both. And I was wondering, because Java was depreciating for mobile app development, I was wondering, should I switch to Kotlin or should I switch to Flutter? Because I already had a background with Android, I was thinking of switching with Kotlin. But then I got to know, okay, Flutter has the potential to create applications for all the platforms, so why not get started with Flutter? That is when I started with Flutter in 2021. And since then, Flutter has changed my whole life, you can say, because I started doing internships. I landed my first job in 2023, I guess. And then Majid invited me to Flutter Vikings as well to speak at the event. So yeah, I have so many memories with Flutter. And I created my first application for a women's safety. It was like you can just, if you're in an emergency situation, you can just tap the button and it will send the messages and the current location of yourself to the immediate contacts that you have saved in your application. So that was my first application. So yeah, thank you so much.
Hello everyone. My first time when I heard from Flutter was, if you guys heard about a company called Bitrise. It's a Hungarian company, and they started to like organize in the community in Budapest, in my home country. And I think I learned I won that was like a ticketing or like some raffles in that meetup, and I think I won like a Kotlin in action book. So it was not like an Android, but I already had some positive like a connection with the community there. And then later I had an opportunity that my previous professors asked me to teach Flutter for the university where I was studying before. And my first application were basically like samples, and I forced myself to learn the technology deeper to be able to like answer the questions. So I chose that path to learn it. But I didn't regret at all, and I also, like, as you guys also mentioned, I received so many positive impact and memories from this technology.
It was 6 years ago. After graduate from the college, I didn't know what to do, so I was cleaning the glass of the building, and yeah, it was boring. But after that, one of my friends told me that let's start the startup. So, and he told me that he needs a CTO. So then, yeah, I would do that. So that was my first memory. And I chose the Flutter over React Native because other friends told me that don't use React Native. So I use Flutter. So I really want to know why did you choose Flutter over React Native later. So yeah, I chose Flutter. It was 6 years ago, and we built a matching application for the gamers who plays game, and raise money from VCs, and hire some developers using Flutter and Firebase. It didn't succeed, but yeah. So, but anyway, Flutter made my career. So, well, it was great experience. So, 6 years ago, a startup. That was my first time to use Flutter.
So nice stories. For me, is also similar to these guys, folks here. I need to give a little bit of background and then say how I ended up with Flutter. I've been working for a long time. I only 25 plus some years, so don't worry, I'm not that old. But I have a very long, roughly around 18 years of experience in dev. So I've been like doing a lot of backend and full stack. And then at some point around 2000, maybe 16 or 15, where I was in Malaysia back then, living there, I decided to switch to full front-end development. Well, just experience, because I always did that in my career. Like I did backend at some point, full stack, I did DevOps, I like diversifying my skills. So I thought like, let's just do the front end. And well, I ended up using JavaScript Everyone loves JavaScript in 2015, right? Everyone. In 2015, it was like, today is actually good, but 2015, I'm talking about things that is, you don't want to hear about it right now. But, so 2 years fast forward, I moved to Norway, and then I started working in an IoT company. So the company was working on a smart home device, where you could manage lots of devices in your home with application and turn off, turn on lights and whatnot, right? And it was like a very interesting project. I got to that project initially as front-end, doing a lot of front-end there. And the stack was Angular. So anyone familiar with Angular, at the time it was Angular JS. And when I got to the company, they had an app, a mobile app for both Android and iOS, which was just a wrapper around an Angular app. So for those you may remember, it was Cordova and like PhoneGap, those. Everyone loves those stack, right? Everyone. Like literally, there was no time, no day that I turned up my laptop, I said start, and PhoneGap or Cordova worked. I don't remember there is even a single time that I didn't go through a failure through just building the app or getting that started. But anyway, that was just what was available at the time. So back just doing 2 years of Angular, a bit front end, and then doing this wrapper around like an Angular, which was already buggy on web, and then wrap it around a native kind of wrapper and ship it to Android. It felt a bit like strange and a bit like not right. Just like you, I started exploring Xamarin, which is worse than for Cordova. Started doing like other things at the time, what was possible. So then I randomly found Flutter, which was at the time beta and like not even close to production. I was a team lead, and I talked to my manager, said, hey, can I have some time? I just want to experiment with this technology. This is completely new. I don't know Dart. I don't know anything. It just takes time that I explore a bit. Based on my experience with Angular, JavaScript, and Xamarin, I thought it's going to take a long time because it probably doesn't work, right? So that was the experience. And I actually cleared that up with my manager, say, hey, it's going to take time. So yes, I started like downloading the SDK. So, all right, first thing first, I didn't do anything. I just downloaded. That was nice. Then I started like next step, run. I started like just, okay, Flutter run, blah, blah. And then a couple of seconds later, it was up. I thought something is wrong. either this SDK is wrong or my computer today. That cannot be true, that you just run and it just runs, you know? And I just started working, like with an emulator at the same time, both, like iOS, Android, both were open because I was experimenting. Just trying to build, like with app, a page. And I built it like in a couple of minutes. And it was just changing. It was changing in the simulator. That was like super odd. Like this is a norm right now. At the time, it was like super strange. And it was like 2 hours later, literally, I was sitting in the middle of office like this. It was an open office. I just sat and said, Eureka, I found it. And everyone looked at me and said, what happened? So, I think I found it. This is it. This is what we need. This is something that we need to work with. It just works. And everyone looked at me like, what are you talking about? I said, just come here, look at me. Whatever I do, it works. We even built it together within a day. We built a page, completely one of our Angular page into Flutter, just a day, and it worked. And everyone was like quite satisfied. So then, long story short, we talked with our big boss and so on, and say, hey, we need roughly 3 months to migrate our Angular app. It was a very big app, by the way. It was like 500 screens, so many screens. We migrated our Angular app within 3 months with provider at the time. There was no other choice. I didn't know Remy, by the way. so many problems, than to a Flutter application. So, but what I can tell you about the first app, it was an, as I said, IoT app. 2017, 2018, you now go to pop.dev, or you see Remy everywhere. He has like thousands of packages. At the time, that was a hell of a work because there was no package. Like literally everything we wanted to do, we had to create. We had to create it ourselves. It was a lot of work. That was like a journey by itself. With like lots of learning, of course, came into place. It was fun, but the funniest story is that we got the app to App Store within 4 months. And the rating of the app with Angular was 1 out of 4, 1.6 out of 5. We got it within the next 6 months afterwards to 4 out of 5. It was super responsive, super nice. We got so many good feedback from users. That was the story.
Wow. Good story. Thank you. So I prepared some more questions, but I want to collect questions from audience. So maybe if you want to ask them question, just post it. Yeah, areas you're excited about now in Flutter Dart. How is AI changing your Flutter development? Or impression of Japan's Flutter community? Yeah, but yeah. Anyway, let's collect questions from everyone. So, guys, so scan this QR code. You can access the Slido, then post your post anything you want to ask.
Is that a question test?
Yeah. This is my question test from me. So yeah, it's certainly working. Yes, yeah. So this is just test. So anyone can start. You can ask anything, or press the sum up button to existing questions. Oh, AI changes.
Answering to that question, hi. Hi. You've got 2 likes for test.
Sorry?
You got 2 likes for test.
Okay.
3. Oh, 4.
Just ignore this.
5.
So which one do I gonna start
Flock.
with?
Oh, Flock is a nice one.
Flock? Okay.
I-
So
Someone
Remy
wanted to
loves
write
it.
blog.
yeah, if we want to talk about something about Flock, please start.
But that's not the question, though. Fuck.
Like, write a good question.
Okay.
At least just a question, at least. Konnichiwa. Konbanwa.
It's difficult to find candidates for. That's a good one. Job is a good one. I like.
Job?
Where is John?
Well, just give a like. See which one you like to hear more. We can have a discussion, all of us together. Know how to read
Yeah,
more.
anything is okay. Just
It has not
choose one you want to
3 yet, so
talk with.
they're looking for 4.
I don't know what 4 will be, but maybe we'll have one at some point. We pick one, maybe.
I think we should look at the likes. Just give likes to
Yeah.
Okay,
go to-
okay.
Go to the top.
Just look at the likes.
AI changes.
AI changes. Okay.
That's a very controversial topic, though, right?
And still not a question, by the way.
It's not.
Yes?
Maybe whoever wrote this just stand up and say, what do you mean AI change? What do you want to know? What scares you about AI? Do you think it will be replaced at some point? Now let's talk about it. I think this is reality that we live today. Who wrote that?
Nobody. AI wrote the question.
Seems like AI. Is there an MCP protocol? Yeah, sounds like it. But we get a lot of likes, but no one wrote it. That's interesting.
I guess there is a compose question.
Yeah,
That's the
there's-
first question.
Yeah, the proper question is the compose one. What do you think about Android Compose? How many dashes do you have? I actually have, I think, around 10, to be honest.
I have 3.
I also have like 6 of them.
Wow.
6.
Yeah.
But I give away, like everywhere I go, I give away. So it's not that I have it for myself.
I stopped taking them.
At some point.
What do we think about compose?
Compose.
Talk about
Okay.
compose until you continue giving likes so that we know which one comes up next.
I can start from my point of view. I'm coming from Android background, so like building like UI in the imperative way in the old times using XMLs, and even like after like Kotlin came back, still that was like really painful. So for me, like that was like something what like Flutter really like engaged me, like providing the declarative like UI like a building. And then later on, like Android Compose was the one which was like providing this approach. And I think Swift UI also like for iOS developers also adopted the concept from Flutter. So I think like reaching that point where the declarative development and the UI building became like a market standard, that was really great to see in every platforms. Even though like I didn't have a chance to like go deeper on Android Compose, but the guys are also like building many good things, and also both of the frameworks can also like inspiration to each other. But since Android and Flutter was really also like living besides each other, also like we have like FlutterCon and DroidCon together, I think all of these technologies are like really inspirational for us, and I'm pretty sure that there are use cases which that can also like more handful.
Okay, next one.
I don't want to answer this because I love Flutter.
Actually, I don't know much about Android Compose. And is it can we build the app with other than Android or iOS? Any other platform is capable with the Android Compose? No.
But it's declarative, just like Flutter.
Okay, so yeah, I actually, yeah, as I said in my presentation, I like to know the, I like the situation. There are a lot of options which we can choose, and yeah, even though we don't choose the Android Compose, we have a lot of things we can learn from Android Compose. So I welcome to, yeah, basically I welcome a lot of other technologies come up. So yeah, yeah. That's it.
That's actually very good. Let's actually build on top of what you said. I think having a healthy competition in community generally for different technology is a good thing. So it doesn't mean that we need to be hater or lover of each. We can use it in the best way that actually suits our stack. They are built for a reason. There is an Android Compose for a reason, there's Flutter for a reason, there's React Native for a reason. I think the best is, instead of marrying to one technology and just, we do that of course for Flutter right now, but to be honest, at the bottom of our heart, if something really better comes and it really solve a problem that Flutter doesn't, we're not marrying with the technology. I don't think anyone is marrying with technology, even the team that is building that technology. Otherwise, they would have got stuck to where they are. Having competition, having good ideas coming, like improving and having different technology is a good thing. If you are in a company that Flutter doesn't really fit, you're really trying to squeeze it to your stack, it doesn't fit, don't do that. Just go for an Android Compose. It's actually nice you learn another stack, and nice to learn another framework. It actually helps you to write even later your Flutter code better. You get the best part of this and bring it to this community and say, hey, this is exactly what Android Compose is doing. If there was no Flutter in a declarative way, there was probably no Android Compose in that way. We don't know. I mean, I'm just saying the good things are building up in different communities. They're coming. If you look at React Native, your question, for example, they're now even shipping Skia, which Flutter has done that like in the beginning. We're actually moving away from Skia right now, but they started like doing Skia. You know, it's a good thing. They are improving. So that's my opinion, though.
Okay, maybe next one. About Flutter forks, probably including Frog, maybe.
I feel like this sort of questions to me sounds a bit of an overreaction to like maybe one or two community members making a fork for maybe fixing some issues with their apps. I don't see many forks. I saw one, or like maybe one and a half, but one. And even then, it's not meta. It's not meant to be like a long-term concurrent. Opponent. No, what is it? It's not meant to be like alongside Flutter. It's more like temporary to use workarounds to specific problems until they are fixed in Flutter. So to me, I'm not really worried about people making forks. People make forks of everything. There are forks of Riverpod, of blocks, or whatever. Yeah, who cares really?
That's a very good thing I want to say. Actually, I looked at the Flutter repository right now, just to give you a number. There is 28,600 fork. Only one of them got picked. Just because, first of all, there are haters there are haters everywhere. And negativity, usually, it's just like news, right? The negative news. Why all the news are negative all the time? Why do you think it's like about that? Because human brain picked it quite fast. Someone has done something which is actually probably did it in a good intention, not even in a bad intention. But then haters came and then they bold it. Flutter is dying because it's forking. One of my answers actually to one of those was like, Flutter is actually forking every day. Like, what are you talking about? At least in the last 7 years that I've been with Flutter. Like, but one of them, because that person is higher status maybe in the community, maybe, as Remy said, overreaction from our community even. I personally did not react on this news at all, because to me, it was not worth to react. Because when we react to such a news, it spread out. Suddenly, my network of 20,000 followers gets that. Remy's 50,000 gets that. He's doing, like, it just spreads out. And people read the title only. They don't read the description of that, right? I personally think this kind of fork probably has been around. We haven't heard about it. One of them got picked. It's, as Remy said, it's also like, realistically, how can you, like, Flutter team with like many engineers, they still cannot catch up with some of the issues we have open for years. Like, they need to prioritize. How do you want to like make a fork with 2 person or 1 person to catch up for a community of millions of developers? So you see, my point here is that there was a good intention probably. I know the guy personally actually, or that team. So probably good intention, they wanted to do something very nice, but overreaction, haters, maybe right timing to say Flutter is dying because this is a news that we are hearing every day from like other communities, all adds up together, and then suddenly we've seen a big thing out of a very small thing that's supposed to stay small, but then suddenly got very big. That was my opinion on this, and I don't think you should be really worried about this. I absolutely think you continue relying on Flutter original version. Flutter team, we know a lot of things from inside, at least me and Remy and GDs are part of the insider. We know what they are trying to do. They share with us. We have meeting every week, every month, and you know, we are meeting them. So we know that they are striving like to make Flutter better and better and better. It's not that they're not working. It's just that it's a lot of work. They need to prioritize. They also need to sometimes sacrifice. As Remy today mentioned, metaprogramming was one of the examples. because of the other good reasons that they came up with. And it's actually a healthy, to be honest, improvement, which I think we can trust and rely. I would have been surprised if they kind of silently killed metaprogramming without openly talking. I probably would have changed my mind and not using Dart anymore, because I feel like probably they don't have enough confidence on, even if they made a bad decision, they're now talking about it because of good reasons, or whether it was good or bad doesn't matter. At least they are openly talking about it. The openness is a kind of way to build a trust. And that's the way I think we're now all trusting on Dart and Flutter. We've seen it in the last 7-8 years at least in this community, that how from Dart 2 to whatever version now to Dart 1 to 3 or Flutter 1 to Flutter 3 or whatever it is, how many improvements you've seen. How many times you upgraded your Flutter app just by upgrading the SDK, got so many improvements from that without you doing anything. Just count it. Every minor version, probably you got some performance improvement that you don't even notice. That's an improvement. That's my opinion. Anyone else?
Just one additional comment for that. That's like Flutter is open source. For me, like coming from the Android background, like how important like being open source and having access what is like actually working behind the scenes, behind our applications. It's really like showcasing like a strong sign. Like that was something, for example, I was missing from iOS development, like issues, tickets, and where these are like going. That was for me like always like unknown, but with Flutter, always like have ability to check the source code. There is a lot of documentation, a lot of README, and there is also like a lot of ongoing discussions and where we can actually help or support the Flutter team. And even if you guys are joining in any discussion, this is also like giving feedback. It's also very valuable for the team because they also want to know like how they can help us better.
Also, there is a Flutter announcements group channel, as in if you go to Google and type Flutter announcements group, you can join that Gmail group, and whenever the Flutter team releases any new Flutter version, they list all the changes in that, so you can check that out as well whenever there is a new version comes up. Yeah.
So my comment is, don't worry, because I bet my life to Flutter for 6 years, and I realized that Flutter is now so popular. That is why a lot of people worry about it. 6 years ago, no one cares about Flutter. Most of them don't know, but every month I hear that the big company decided to use Flutter over the other technologies. So it's becoming more and more popular. That's why you are here. So yeah, don't worry. If you worried about it and you feel lonely, there are a great Flutter meetup over the world, over 150, and we also host the Flutter Tokyo every month. So yeah, we are here. So yeah, don't worry. That's my comment.
Okay. Do you want to speak more? Okay. So a lot of questions here, but we sadly run out of time. So please pick these topics as conversation for closing party. So yeah, thank you. Anyway, thank you for all the panelists. So big applause to panelists, please.